Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into the show. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up here over the next several minutes on this fine Monday, June 2nd, 49ers OTAs winners and losers. The Niners have been on the practice field the last few days. Who has won and lost the OTA session? That's all coming up. First, I do want to say this. Thanks to all of the real ones who have supported our show by watching our videos, liking our videos, subscribing to the channel, getting in the comment section, sending in super chats, sending in super thanks as well. But we've also had a lot of people who have purchased 49ers Report hats. That supports the brand, it supports chat sports as a whole, it supports the channel, and it gets the word out there that what we do is very special. We sold out of our 49ers Report hats until now. We just got a new shipment in. So if you want to be a real one, and if you want to get a 49ers Report hat, here's the deal. Venmo me $50 at Chase_Senior. You see the username there. You can also scan the QR code. During the year, during our watch parties, we were giving these away for $100 a pop, and we sold out. Now, 50% off. And if you get one today, I am going to give you some chat sports swag. I'm going to write you a letter and give you a hat. That's $50 Venmo at Chase_Senior. You can scan that QR code. We'll get those sent out this week. As for my Niners OTAs winners and losers, winner number one, defensive end Bryce Huff. Traded on Friday from the Philadelphia Eagles to the San Francisco 49ers. Here's a look at what he'll look like in a Niner uniform. He's not going to rock the number 0. That is second-year cornerback Renardo Green, who we're going to talk about here in a little while. And why I like the Bryce Huff trade. I know producer Chip had talked about it here on the show. I did a near 3-minute YouTube short. I was in the air on a flight to a buddy's wedding, so I was very busy over the last few days. But this is why I like this Huff trade. He flourished under Niners defensive coordinator Robert Saleh with the Jets in 2023. The Niners needed an edge rusher, and they needed a pass rush specialist. That is the role that Bryce Huff is going to have for this Niners defense. And so you address depth, you address a need as far as a player who can get after the quarterback. This is the perfect role for Huff, and the role that he had in 2023 with New York when he played under 50% of the snaps. The Niners have a bevy of picks in 2026. So giving up one and sacrificing a draft pick doesn't really mean much because the Niners still have so many picks at their disposal. Because the Eagles restructured his contract, San Francisco only has to pay him less than $8 million. He is a perfect scheme fit and a great fit alongside Nick Bosa. And in this NASCAR package too, when you have Bryce Huff at defensive end in this wide nine, Nick Bosa, that will allow Mykel Williams to play defensive tackle in third and long, obvious pass rush situations. This is going to allow the Niners to get after the quarterback, collapse the pocket, and really provide a lot of pressure on the opposing thrower. And in 2023, under Robert Saleh, this is yet another New York Jet following Saleh and Brant Boyard, who's San Francisco. Huff was awesome. And that's why the Eagles gave him $34 million in guaranteed money. He had a 79.7 overall Pro Football Focus grade that ranked 33rd among 197 edge rushers. His pass rush grade of 86.8 was 11th at the position. He's never been a great run defender, but in this defense, in the wide nine, his job is going to be to get after the quarterback, pin your ears back, and be that turbo guy off the edge. That fits what Huff does well. That was not his role with Philadelphia, and he wasn't a good scheme fit for Vic Fangio. Huff in 2023, with Saleh calling the shots defensively, also had 10 sacks. That was 22nd. His 67 pressures ranked 15th, and he did all of that while playing under 50% of the snaps. He is not going to impact the snaps that Mykel Williams gets. Instead, great scheme fit and a great compliment for Nick Bosa. And honestly, he might be the most talented pass rusher that Bosa has had since he got drafted by the Niners in 2019 because Dee Ford was rarely healthy and not the same guy that he was when he was with Kansas City. OTA winner number 2, wide receiver Jauan Jennings. Just like he was last year in 2024 when he was the number 1 option for Brock Purdy through the air and the Niners' number 1 wideout, he was Brock Purdy's number 1 option throughout OTAs. He was dominating. Nobody could stop him. He looked to be the best player on the field. And Jennings is a player who last year had nearly 1,000 yards. And we know what he brings to this ball club, right? Toughness, resiliency, confidence, swagger, leadership, the ability to high point the ball, go up and get it, that physical nature at that wide receiver spot, a willing blocker. He is the epitome of what the Niners value in football players, and Jauan Jennings is a football guy. And there was not anybody at OTAs who could stop number 15. And as he's going into the final year of his contract, he's saying it right here. The time is now for the 49ers to pay Jauan Jennings. They can get ahead of the market, and they can get him at a steal. Because I expect him to be productive once again in 2025. And if he is, he could cash in for $15+ million. Where if you pay him right now, I think that you can get him between 11 and 15. And for that production, what he means to this team, that could be an absolute bargain. And I think that that kinship that he has, that connection that he has with Brock Purdy, you just signed Purdy. You want him to be around your quarterback who you have invested in. And given the uncertainty around Brandon Ayuk, Jauan Jennings is going to be wide receiver 1 for a while. And Ricky Pearsall got hurt again. Last year, 113 targets, 77 grabs, 975 yards and 6 touchdowns. He is what you call a dog. Winner number 3 during OTAs, running back Christian McCaffrey. I know there were a lot of different opinions as far as how McCaffrey looks. Look, OTAs, end of May into June. The regular season is in September. Christian McCaffrey is coming off a year in which he played 4 games, had no touchdowns. The Madden curse was real. A year after he had more than 2,000 all-purpose yards. He was the Offensive Player of the Year, top 5 in MVP voting. The 2024 campaign was a nightmare. But he looks healthy. It looks as though he has a spring and explosiveness in his step. And Christian McCaffrey had some bounce. I'm just happy that McCaffrey is healthy and back on the field. Here's what John Lynch had to say about the 2023 Offensive Player of the Year and one of the most dynamic players in football. I stand back there where I used to stand, just about 30 yards deeper, and it looks really good to me. That's what I'll tell you about CMC. He looks bouncy. He looks explosive. Christian likes the work. As talented as he is, he's a field player, and he likes to work, and he puts in the work. Believe me, he's as intense a competitor as I've been around. He's maniacal in his approach. And that approach, I think, is what has allowed McCaffrey to get healthy. And him being healthy is huge for this Niners offense in 2025 because a lot of their success hinges on him. I know Kyle Shanahan's offense leads to running backs being productive, and I have confidence that any running back for San Francisco can be productive with Kyle Shanahan and Bobby Turner. But those running backs are not like Christian McCaffrey. And so his health is a huge storyline for this football club. Let's hope and pray he doesn't have any setbacks. Let's hope that he continues to stay healthy, and let's hope that he continues to have that wiggle and that bounce. Winner number 4, linebacker and rookie Nick Martin. He was a little bit of a reach, according to some, in the 2025 NFL Draft coming out of Oklahoma State. This is a pick that I absolutely loved, and Nick Martin was really impressing a lot of people during Niners OTAs. He has an opportunity to earn that weak side starting linebacker spot alongside Fred Warner. And when you get this type of praise from one of the best linebackers in the history of football and the best off-ball linebacker in football right now, that's pretty telling. It's got to make you feel good. And I love the approach from Nick Martin in the eyes of All-Pro Fred. He said this, "I've loved everything that Nick's been about since he's arrived. I heard the whole story about how he said he had my jersey before coming on the team. It was the only jersey that Nick Martin has gotten. And with some of those situations, the whole too cool thing, I don't know what it is. You just don't want an older player to think that they're just like little bro or something. But Nick Martin has come in here and he's asked me every single question known to man. Fred, how are you doing this? What are you doing after practice? What are you doing after the lift? And wanting to be a part of those things, not being afraid to ask those questions. I've seen the athletic ability flash already on the field and the way that he closes space really quickly, and he already has the great mindset of wanting to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Martin at Oklahoma State was a tackling machine, a TFL machine. He has the ability to get after the quarterback. He's good in coverage. He plays like his hair is on fire. He has an opportunity to be one of a handful of rookie players that start under Robert Saleh in 2025. Speaking of rookie starters, I think Mykel Williams is going to be one. He is winner number 5 here. He just passes the eye test with the length, the physicality, the resume, the build. It all translates to the NFL level. Mykel Williams looks NFL ready right now. And I've said this since the Niners drafted him. Is he a little bit raw as a pass rusher? Yeah, a little bit. But he's going to be able to win with power. He's going to be able to set the edge. And he's going to be able to help improve what has been a lackluster Niners rushing defense right from the jump. And what you want when you take a player early in the first round is for them to have an opportunity to start right from the jump and to earn it. And I think Mykel Williams is going to do that because he's one of the top defenders on this team potentially already. Here's what John Lynch had to say about Williams. Again, like Nick Martin, a sponge. Cool moment, Lynch said. Yesterday, I walk out to the practice field, Bosa and Mykel. Mykel's just a sponge, following Nick everywhere. Defensive line coach Chris Koceric, he's doing such a great job of saying, hey, Mykel, get behind Bosa in drills. Watch how much ground he's gaining with his first step. Nick Bosa is about as technical as a pass rusher as there is in the NFL. Where does Mykel Williams need to get better and to develop as a pass rusher? No better player to learn from potentially in the NFL than Nick Bosa, who's an absolute student of the game with the way that he tries to find ways to win to get after the opposing quarterback. Winner number 6, another rookie, wide receiver Jauan Watkins. Making plays, very consistent, catching everything in his area, very strong lower half for a guy who ran a 4.3 40-yard dash in the pre-draft process while at Louisville and at Ole Miss throughout his college career. He only dropped 6 passes, so he's very sure-handed. Kyle Shanahan's very hard on wide receivers early. He already really likes what he's seeing. Out of Jauan Watkins, he tracks the ball well. He can be a vertical threat to take the top off of the defense, but I think that he can do more than that. I think that he can create in this system in picking up yards after the catch. Short area quickness, very mechanically sound as a wide receiver. And if you're mechanically sound, you're running good routes, you're not dropping passes, and you're learning the system early, you have an opportunity to get on the field early as a player. Our sponsor for today's San Francisco 49ers Report, our friends at Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the game. And right now, when you use our code CLNS, you get $50 when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Do you know ball? There's only one series left in the basketball playoffs, and the championship is officially on the line. That means time is running out for you to put your final takes to the test on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in with your favorite sports. This year's basketball playoffs headed toward a crowning finish and crowning a first-time champion in more than 50 years between OKC and Indiana. Don't miss your last chance to cash in on history with Prize Picks. Pick more or less on player stats like points, rebounds, and assists, and more for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. Game 1 getting underway on Thursday. We like Miles Turner, more than 5 rebounds. Are you kidding me? That's such a low number right there. Tyrese Halliburton should have been Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Less than 17.5 points. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, NBA MVP this year, more than 10.5 free throws attempted. Some people call him the free throw merchant. And so we like the more there. Does a good job of getting to the free throw line. Pick more, pick less. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Loser number 1 for me for our OTAs winners and losers segment is second-year wide receiver Ricky Pearsall. He is hurt again. Last year, before he got shot, and obviously so glad that he's okay, but before that, unfortunate day in downtown San Francisco, he was dealing with hamstring issues. He also had that subluxation in his shoulder, right? So when you're dealing with shoulder injuries and a hamstring issue, and he barely did anything in training camp, he did not perform or play at all in the preseason. Then he missed time to start his rookie campaign, and he's going to be relied upon a lot going into year 2. And you have this injury history. As a former first-round pick, it is a problematic trend. These reps are very crucial to build that connection and that rapport with Brock Purdy. Ricky Pearsall, not on the field for OTAs. He is out until training camp. That is not good. These soft tissue injuries continue to pop up. And for a wide receiver who relies on good route running, short area quickness, burst, who's a twitchy and explosive player as a really good athlete, and you have these brittle concerns around you, and you're missing valuable reps on the field, he's an OTA loser, no doubt about it. Let's hope that these injuries don't continue to be a thing. For a guy, by the way, who's a little bit tinier and a little bit smaller in stature, he is not a physical freak by any means. We saw some flashes last year. Great game against Detroit. Contested touchdown against Brian Branch. Contested touchdown catch against the Cardinals in Week 18. The end around for 40 against the Cowboys. The catch and run for his first career touchdown against the Buccaneers when he beat Antoine Winfield to that pylon after the high step. He has a lot of pop and ability. He has the potential to be a really good player in this league. Not if injuries hold him back, and so far in his NFL career, injuries have held him back. Loser number 2, cornerback Renardo Green. He struggled in the first OTA practice last week. He was getting picked on a lot, and he had a rough day. In particular, against Jauan Jennings, who, as we talked about earlier, dominated that particular OTA practice. This doesn't mean that I'm down on Renardo Green, but the Niners need him to be good in year 2 because they are pretty thin at that cornerback spot. He was really good as a rookie. Robert Saleh called him one of the top players on the Niners defense. He was awesome at Florida State, shut down the likes of Malik Neighbors, put some really good reps on tape against Brian Thomas, and as a rookie, he was fantastic. The Niners, with them potentially starting 5 rookies, they can't afford to have a sophomore slump for Renardo Green, especially at that corner spot, given how critical it is. And I'm not overly concerned, but it's not good that he consistently got picked on in that first OTA practice. Overall PFF grade last year, 69.2. That was 56th among 222 corners. His coverage grade of 74.3 ranked 28th at that position. He was 11th in pass breakups with 9. He had 13 passes defended. That was top 20 among all corners, and he only had 7 starts, so he made the most of his opportunities. Loser number 3, safety Jair Brown. He did have that aforementioned sophomore slump in 2024 after a really good rookie year in 2023 where he stepped in for Talanoa Hufanga, made some really impressive plays, picked off Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and in year 2, I think a lot of this was due to bad coaching and Nick Sorensen being an awful defensive coordinator, but he didn't play well, nor was he consistent enough. He had that sophomore slump. And now going into year 3, he's trying to shake that. And there were plays last year where he over-pursued, he was out of position, the game was moving a little bit too fast for him, and he didn't run a great 40-yard dash in the pre-draft. He relies a lot on instincts, and last year the instincts weren't there. He needs those reps this offseason. He's not getting them. Out until at least training camp because he had to get an ankle surgery, so he did not participate in OTAs. And so he's a loser, and at that safety position, I'd say it's a little bit of a concern right now because Malik Mustafa is out. He had the surgery on his ACL. Jair Brown is out with that ACL injury, and right now you're relying on Jason Pinnock and Richie Grant, who have started a lot of games in this league, but they were cheap and available in free agency for a reason. Loser number 4, second-round pick defensive tackle Alfred Collins. The wingspan, the height, the weight, the physicality, the tackle-to-miss tackle ratio last year of 55-2, the dominant plays that we saw at Texas on a loaded defense and loaded defensive line, his ability to bat down passes, be good against the run, occasionally get after the quarterback, him being as athletic as he is for his size. All of those are pluses, right? But he continues to deal with a calf injury. I think reps for a rookie are extremely important when you're trying to learn a new defense and you're trying to refine your pass rush skills, and he has not signed his rookie contract yet. And so hopefully the calf injury doesn't become a concern because he has an opportunity to start for this Niners defense in 2025, and hopefully we see him in training camp. But if the calf issue lingers and he misses out on those valuable reps, I don't know if the Niners are going to trust him enough, and that would be unfortunate because I really think that he can be a marquee player for this defense, a starter for this defense in 2025, because frankly, he might be the best defensive tackle on this roster. Loser number 5 is punter Mitch Wishnowsky. The Niners released him, and they have a new punter, Thomas Morstead, in 2025. Morstead has a bigger leg than Wishnowsky. Wishnowsky might be better at pinning the ball inside the 20, but last year, Morstead's average yards per punt and net yards per punt were better than Wishnowsky, who last year dealt with knee and back issues. Kyle Shanahan called it a difficult decision to release him. Shanahan said, I love what Wishnowsky brought. He's a football player. We've seen the toughness from him for a punter. He's made some tackles. He's made some big hits in his career. But Brant Boyer clearly decided to go with Morstead, who he was with the last 2 years, over Wishnowsky because he liked Morstead better. Kyle Shanahan thinks that Wishnowsky can get a job elsewhere as a former Ray Guy Award winner who had a really good 2023 campaign. But when you get cut by your squad and replaced, you're a loser during OTAs. Who is your biggest Niners OTA winner and loser? Drop me some names down in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.